someone who felt like a nobody didn't feel like a nobody for a little bit every time I listened to Aly and AJ. Gotta stop looking out the window or I'm never gonna get anything done now, love. Hi everyone, my name is Josh, my pronouns are he, him, and welcome to my brand new channel, Joshy Gaga. I am so excited and just like this much nervous to be talking to you guys today, but I'm so excited to be starting my channel. I am gonna be talking about pop music, horror movies, regular movies, video games, TV, everything that keeps me awake at night. I figured what better way to get all of these thoughts out of my head than to ramble on the internet about it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So without further ado, let's get started. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my favorite pop duo, Aly and AJ. Yes, that's right, those Disney Channel girls with the cows. I've been obsessed with them for as long as I can remember. At the end of 2020, Aly and AJ got some buzz for releasing an explicit version of their hit single Potential Breakup Song. I stan, you stan, I'm pretty sure they stan. Aly and AJ have always stayed true to themselves and have always fought for what's right and inspired their fans. Despite living in the Disney bubble, they have shined through the corporate image to create an image that is authentic and true to themselves that inspires their fans around the world. They have a new album coming out this year. I'm so excited for it. But before we get into that, let's go back a little bit and take it back to the beginning, see how this all started. If you were a 90s baby watching Disney Channel growing up, you definitely remember Phil of the Future. It's the story of Phil Diffie and his family who travel from 2021 back to the 21st century by accident and get stuck in America. Wow. You might remember this show from being your sexual awakening, or their depiction of 2121 has been etched into your brain as very realistic. I mean, come on. 100 years from now, we're still gonna be eating cheeseburgers out of cans and waiting for the new Cyberpunk game to come out. You'll probably remember the theme song performed by the Drew Davis Band. He's a 22nd century man. Well, they also sang the theme song for The Sweet Life. This is the sweet life. Aly Mashaka played Keely Teslo, the queen of camp and best friend to titular character Phil Diffie. Not to be confused with Phil Dunphy or Hilary Duff. In one episode of this extremely campy and silly show, Keely wants to perform at the school talent show, but she has stage fright, so Phil decides to shrink down to micro size and swing on the microphone with Keely so that she can feel comfortable singing. This is super cute because the song that Aly is singing is called Protecting Me, which is featured on their first album, but was also written by AJ Mashaka. This is before their album came out and before they were signed, so this is the first time we get to hear Aly and AJ's music. On another episode, Phil and Keely go on a school trip to squish tomatoes at a farm? At a tomato farm. But the catch is that in the future, humans only have 4 toes. So Phil Diffie decides to put on a prosthetic toe because he doesn't want to miss out on the school trip and he wants to be with Keely, but he doesn't want her to know that he's from the future. Lo and behold, prosthetic toe doesn't work, and Keely finds out that not only does Phil only have 4 toes, but that he's also from the future, which I guess was kind of like
inevitable?
The show is super cute, but it was canceled after 2 seasons, so if you're interested in watching it and haven't seen it, or just want to catch up and watch some of the insane episodes, you can check it out on Disney+. While Aly was on Phil of the Future, Aly and AJ got signed to Hollywood Records. If you aren't familiar with Hollywood Records, it's the Disney record label that they throw all of their teen stars into. Some of my favorite Hollywood Records alumni include the Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez and The Scene, and Selena Gomez, Hilary Duff, Hayden Panettiere, Raven, Sabrina Carpenter, Zendaya, Insane Clown Posse.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Most of those artists aren't signed to that record label anymore, but some of the artists that's still on there are That Girl from Pretty Little Liars spinoff Sophia Carson, Breaking Benjamin, and Queen?
Hold on.
Their first big release is a cover of the hit song Do You Believe in Magic, which was featured in the DCOM Now You See It that stars Aly Mashaka but is all about teen magicians. A fun fact about this, Do You Believe in Magic won the Radio Disney Music Award for Best Song You Can't Believe Your Parents Know the Words to. The Radio Disney Music Awards were a thing? For the best song that you can't believe your parents know the words to, the Do You Believe in Magic beat out Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney and Wake Up by Hilary Duff. So you're trying to tell me that this stiff competition for the Radio Disney Music Awards was a tween boy band guy, a girl singing about different time zones, and a cover of a 60s song? Hold on. You're trying to tell me that Walking on Sunshine also won the best song to listen to on the way to school, beating out Wake Up by Hilary Duff and Rumors by Lindsay Lohan? Are you serious? Bullshit! We would like to have a word with RDD. I also found out that Walking on Sunshine is featured in Herbie Fully Loaded. I think Disney was lying to us. The actual beef, it wasn't between Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan. It was actually between Lindsay Lohan and Aly AJ.
Child. Anyway, so
in August 2005, Aly and AJ released their first album, Into the Rush. They co-wrote every song on the album except the 2 covers. The first single that they released from the album is a song called No One, which is featured in Ice Princess, starring Buffy's fake sister. The next song that they released is called Rush, which was featured in Twitches. Go Twitches, go Twitches. Both of these songs are about being yourself, and I always felt that these were my first gay anthems. You know, I didn't have anybody to look up to growing up. So I looked up to Aly and AJ, who said, "Don't let nobody tell you your life is over.
Be every color that you are."
I felt seen by Aly and AJ. You know, when I'm listening to the Mariah Carey Emancipation of Mimi CD, I just don't feel seen by her. When she said fly like a bird, I don't feel it. But when they say don't want to be no one but me, I feel that. The messages in the album are all about standing up for yourself and others, being a good friend, being a good sister, standing up for your friends, and standing up against bullies. The album got mostly positive reviews, specifically talking about the sound and the songwriting and how it's such a vast improvement from other Disney music. Keep in mind, this is before Hannah Montana, this is before Demi Lovato, before Selena Gomez. Now, I was 9 years old in 2005. So, what that meant for me is that I spent all of my free time on the Aly and AJ message boards. Makes sense, right? So, being a child of the internet, I knew that the only thing that I could do was to go back into the Wayback Machine to 2006 and find this iconic interview Aly and AJ did with Blender magazine. So let's check it out. Tweenage Riot. Aly and AJ, the homeschooled princesses of Disney pop, like Puggles, love Christ, and hate kidnappers. Now, armed with a killer single, these sisters are ready for acting and singing superstardom. Can they make it through Hollywood uncorrupted? They like Puggles, they love Christ, and they hate kidnappers. So let's zoom in a little bit on the kidnapping section. While they're having dinner with the interviewer, the dad brings up kidnapping, and their mom talks about how the girls were invited to a party held by Elton John. Okay, gay icons. The only way that the girls were allowed to go to a party is if they brought a bodyguard with them, because, quote, if they got in someone else's car, I could never see them again. Hollywood, mom and daughters agree, is full of freaks. The interviewer asks, "You're homeschooled girls in a gated suburb. Why are you so afraid of kidnapping?" Aly says, "It's not a fear of ours. We just want people to be aware. You could live in a nice neighborhood and there could be some perv there. You never know." They start talking about Christian overtones in school and why they've decided to be homeschooled. And the interviewer asks, "Do you believe in evolution?" AJ says no, shaking her head and frowning. AJ adds, "Evolution is silly. Monkeys? No." I just have to read this because it's... What the future doesn't hold, the girls insist, is a transformation from girls next door to club hopping, extreme dieting party junkies. It's tiresome to go out to parties, fake your way through them, and pretend you're having a good time, Aly says. She sees sidekick pagers as the ultimate signifier of that lifestyle. To me, getting a sidekick would be like trying drugs. Don't do sidekicks. I found this to be very interesting because Disney typically shies away from anything that could be considered controversial, so they don't typically touch on religion for the most part. Before I wrap up with Blender magazine, we have to talk about the quiz that comes along with it. Complete this simple quiz to see if you're going to Disneyland or going to hell. Number 1, you attend algebra class in A, your pajamas, B, a large building paid for with your taxpayer money, or C, algebra what? My answer is B, because I went to public school. Number 2, you think Charles Darwin is A, a monkey-loving blasphemer, B, the scientist responsible for developing the contemporary theory of evolution as we know it, or C, that pansy who wrote A Christmas Carol. I'm gonna say B, because Charles Darwin is responsible for the contemporary theory of contemporary feeling of evolution as we know it. Number 3, what is your idea of a perfect hit single? A, a stirring inspirational ballad about the sanctity found in a higher calling. B, a radio-ready anthem, radio rebel anthem, a radio-ready anthem about poser boys who, like, totally suck. Or C, 7 minutes of overdriven guitars and growled lyrics about getting by Satan and loving it. I'm gonna go with B again. Number 4. You've just been offered a line of cocaine at a party. What do you do? A, flee in horror, call the police, and pray for the eternal soul of this misbegotten heathen. B, politely decline, then pour your 5th Red Bull and vodka and keep rocking out to Sum 41. Or C, snort the entire 8-ball, then steal the silver so you can buy more. I was addicted to Red Bull for a day, so I'm gonna go with B. Last question, number 5. You've just been cast in your first movie role. Who are you playing? A, alongside your twin sister, the perkiest dang babysitters in all of Branson. B, cannibalistic zombie slasher victim number 2. Or C, cannibalistic zombie slasher. I'm gonna go with C. Let's go over the answers. So if you answered mostly A's, congratulations, you're a homeschooled Christian tween pop star. Mostly B's, you're an ideologically neutral, chart-topping pop star, possibly Canadian. Or C, you're huge in the Norwegian black metal scene. It's good to know that I'm possibly Canadian. I just want to say that this quiz did not tell me if I was going to Disneyland or hell. Another really cuckoo bananas and really wonderful thing that Aly and AJ did is they re-released Into the Rush Deluxe Edition, and they had a new song on it called Chemicals React, which was featured in The Sims 2 Pets in Simlish. Vumaga feed, oh do my people During this era, one of Radio Disney's contests was to meet Aly and AJ, so I sat by my boombox, I entered every time I could, and then when they announced it, I did not win. So I haven't entered a Radio Disney contest since.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
Alright y'all, the moment that you have all been waiting for and that I've been waiting for. My favorite decom from 2006. Sorry to the other 5 that came out that year. Cowbells. The premiere of Cowbells was a double feature premiere with the first episode of Hannah Montana. So you got to watch girls cry about milk and yogurt and then watch Hannah Montana put her face in a cream pie. Cowbells is about 2 spoiled rich girls, and after accidentally almost burning their house down, their father, who owns a dairy company, puts them to work on his dairy farm. Throughout the course of the movie, there is some great sisterhood moments where they bond. There's even a song by Aly and AJ called On the Ride, which is about loving your sisters. AJ's character, Courtney, is having a birthday party. While she's working, she accidentally changes the expiration dates on all of the milk. The night of the party, the dairy farm is gonna go out of business because she messed up and labeled all of the milk wrong. Now they have to close the dairy farm down. They're never gonna be able to make dairy ever again. The dad brings the community and everybody saves the day from the milk. It turns out that the dad's business partner embezzled the money from the company and that's why they're going out of business, and he runs off and there are no consequences for him at the end of the movie. Aly and AJ's characters learn about community and how to be a better person and decide to continue to work at the dairy farm. The DVD version of Cowbells is called the More Movie Edition, and it has an alternate ending where the dad comes in the next day to see the girl sitting at the computer and Courtney is tapping away like a hacker, like a teen hacker, and it turns out that she has tracked down the embezzler at a casino in Puerto Rico. Courtney has saved the day, just like Lexi from Get a Clue. Coming soon to Disney+, Ryan Murphy's feud, Aly and AJ versus Lilo. After Cowbells came out, Aly and AJ released an album called Acoustic Hearts of Winter. It is their stripped down acoustic Christmas album. Most of the songs are covers, but there are a few original songs on there. The one in particular that you might know is called Greatest Time of Year. It was featured in the Santa Claus 3 in the credits and for promo for the movie. So when I saw Santa Claus 3 The Escape Clause, I remember sitting there with my grandmother at the end of the movie being like, oh, Christmas is saved! And then, and I go, it's a special kind of feeling in the air. And I'm like, oh, AJ! And my grandmom's like, who? Anyway, after they finished their Christmas era, they went back into the studio to record their next album, Insomniatic. For press for this, now that they've kind of worked their way into the MTV bubble, they are featured on Punk'd. They are featured in My Super Sweet 16, the movie. When the album does come out, they end up doing a behind-the-scenes docu-special. They talk about getting their licenses, recording music, trying to be a teenager. Insomniatic has a much heavier rock and electronic sound from Into the Rush. The lead single, of course, is Potential Breakup Song, bop and a half. Used to play it on Disney Channel every single commercial break. BBC Radio actually reviewed Insomniatic and gave it a very positive review, with this as the lead single, potential breakup song, to create something that sounds like My Chemical Romance going through a blender with some soft-hearted, angry girl music. They're not wrong. Potential Breakup Song was also Hollywood Records' first platinum single in the US. This album not only pushed the boundaries of what Disney was willing to do, but it created opportunities for other rock girls to shine. Camp Rock comes out in 2008, where Demi Lovato makes her debut. 2009, Selena Gomez puts out Selena Gomez in the Scene music, and then in 2010, Miley Cyrus releases Can't Be Tamed. I think that without Insomniatic and without pushing those boundaries, and Potential Breakup Song specifically, Disney wouldn't have been brave enough to take the chance and make those stars shine in a different way. The most exciting thing about the Aly and AJ Disney Channel era is the merchandise. We've got dolls, we've got books, there's the Nintendo DS game Aly and AJ Adventure. But the most important thing that Aly and AJ released as merchandise were their very own line of Guitar Hero guitars. How did I not have these? It looks like they're going for around like $75 to $100 on eBay. Do you think that I have room right there, right? You think it'll fit? For the release of the Guitar Hero guitars, they did a press event at Universal City Walk. The funniest clip is watching Aly and AJ rock out on easy mode with the little girls. They're just like... So this was a press event that I was not invited to. I'm the target audience for an Aly and AJ Guitar Hero guitar. Kind of feels unfair. After the press release for the Guitar Hero guitars, what else were they supposed to do except go back into the studio? Aly and AJ started working on their third album with Hollywood Records. This time they were going for a much more heavy rock sound instead of like a pop rock. They had many setbacks for this album. They eventually changed their name from Aly and AJ to 78 Violet and announced a new release date. Some time goes by and then they announced that they've left Hollywood Records and that the album will not be released. So there's just Aly and AJ's 78 Violet album follow-up to Insomniatic just out there. After their break with Hollywood Records, Aly and AJ went back into the studio independently this time to work on more mature sounding music. Aly and AJ felt really out of control of their art working with Hollywood Records, so working independently allows them to create the music that they want to and release it their way. Around this time, there were also two different fan stalking incidents with Aly and AJ, one in 2008 and one in 2010. So maybe that Blender magazine article was a little weird when they were talking about Stranger Danger, but maybe they were onto something. In 2010, Aly starts starring on a TV show called Hellcats on the CW alongside Ashley Tisdale. I haven't seen it because I can't really trust the CW after canceling Gilmore Girls and Reba in 2007. In 2013, 78 Violet released their first official single, Hot House, from their new EP that's supposed to come out in 2014. They have a great new indie sound. This EP ends up never being released, and 78 Violet never releases music again. The girls just weren't passionate and weren't in love with the music that they made and didn't want to release it to the world. Eventually, the full album does leak, but on this channel, we do not support leaks. When it seemed like their passion for music starts to dry up, they really take some time to step away from music and focus on acting for a few years. Both girls were acting separately, consistently. Aly stars in teen movies like Band Slam, Easy A, and The Roommate. Even has a recurring role on 2.5 Men after Charlie Sheen. And eventually, she starts starring on iZombie, which is another show on the CW that I haven't seen because the CW. AJ is featured in films like The Lovely Bones, Secretariat, and Super 8, and then she later stars on The Goldbergs as Lainey Lewis. She lends her voice to the Steven Universe TV show, and she's even featured in a Slash music video. We have no choice but to stand. The sisters produced and starred in their own indie drama, Weep Away for Now. This is written and directed by Steven Ringer, who is Aly's husband. Other actors featured in this film are Saoirse Ronan's voice, and the sister from Final Destination 3, who is also in that Zac Efron romance movie about the sailing, not the military one though, the sailing one. They couldn't stay away from music for too long. They reunite in 2017 to release their first single, Take Me, with this brand new 80s synth pop sound. The music video features them as vampires, wondering when are you gonna take me out? In November of 2017, they released an EP called 10 Years, 10 years after Insomniatic. It's indie produced but distributed by a small distribution company called AWOL. My favorites are I Know and Good Love. And you know that Aly and AJ love the gays. What better way to show love to our community than to release Good Love during Pride Month? In 2019, they released another EP called Sanctuary. This one is more self-reflective and less about romance and relationships. My favorite song from this EP is Church. It was my #1 song of 2019. For the Sanctuary tour, they did a lot of fundraising. The Trevor Project, Headcount, and Project Heal. They are big philosophers. philanthropists. They've openly supported Black Lives Matter, Planned Parenthood, and have even done phone banking for the 2020 Senate elections and the 2021 Georgia Senate runoff elections. So we finally get an update from Aly and AJ about evolution. They have since redacted their claims about evolution. Aly even tweeted, "Yes to evolution. Thank God for the glow up, and not just body, but mind. We stand growth." During this time, Aly finishes working on iZombie. AJ lends her voice to She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. She continues starring on The Goldbergs and then even gets her own spin-off called School. In 2020, during all of the madness of COVID, they released 2 singles. One is called Attack of Panic, and the other one is called Joan of Arc is on the Dance Floor. Attack of Panic touches on the taboo topics of anxiety and depression that I struggle with every single day of my life. And I know that they struggle with as well, and that so many of their fans struggle with. Joan of Arc is on the Dance Floor is a political bop about standing up for your beliefs and doing what's right. In interviews about the song, they talk a little bit about their Disney experience, saying, "We definitely felt shy about being really clear about what we believed in and how to stand up for it." The music video, which is directed by Aly and her husband Steven, features clips about the Supreme Court Justice nomination of Brett Kavanaugh after there were sexual assault allegations against him. Both of these songs discuss really important topics in today's America. The Me Too movement, standing up for yourself, being brave about your mental health. These are all things that are so relevant and so important in our lives. All of the songs from 2017 to 2020 were compiled into an album called We Can't Stop. In December, they announced that they're working on a new album and that their first single called Slow Dancing is now out. Then Aly and AJ started to get a little bit of buzz on the internet outside of their fan base. TikTok came here to save the day. There's a TikTok of all these moms bopping along to Potential Breakup song, and it became this huge TikTok thing, and the song became super popular again. It led to Aly and AJ releasing an explicit version of Potential Breakup song where they say shit and they say fuck. The song hops right on the nostalgia train but brings fresh life and relevancy to it. So Aly and AJ end the year back on top with Potential Breakup song Explicit. They come back in January of 2021 with their new single Listen, 3 exclamation points. They have a new album coming out later this year that I'm super excited about. Aly and AJ have always been there for me. They provided me great music, great laughs. They taught us about being ourselves, to love who you are, and to stand up for what's right and for what you believe in. I'm still really, really sad about missing that Radio Disney contest. However, I was blessed enough to see them at the end of 2019, right before COVID. It was a small venue, incredible. Before they performed Good Love, they talked about the Trevor Project and raised money. They did play The Greatest Time of Year because it was Christmas, and let me say, chef's kiss. The green and red lights. Aly and AJ have really helped shape their fan base into strong individuals who stand up for what's right and are true to themselves. I mean, come on. Even moms love Aly and AJ. They're talking about it on TikTok. So, what do you think? Are Aly and AJ the only Disney Channel stars that came out unscarred? Does your mom make TikToks too? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video. If you're here from the future, welcome back. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring my bell. Since you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, and I'm so grateful for that, this is my baby Absinthe. Say hi, honey. She's our camera operator here at Joshy Gaga Studios. That's our show. I gotta go take my Velociraptor out of storage. See ya.